It's great to be here. Here we are at our pilot episode. This has been a long time coming, but we finally got our act together to finally do this show here. As you can see behind me, we're still kind of under construction here in the studio, but we're working on that. We should have it sorted out soon. GameSlean TV is going to be a weekly news and review show. Every week we'll be bringing you the latest news and talking about the latest games. Now, since this is our pilot, we don't have a review scheduled for today. So after we do the news, each of us here has prepared a list of our top 5 favorite games. So we'll go over those, and then later on maybe we'll make some predictions and see how we do at the end of the year. So let's get things started off right and get everybody introduced. My name is Chris. To my right on the co-host sofa, we've got Steve. What's up?
What's going on?
To his right, we've got Jeff.
What's up?
And to his right, we've got Nick.
What's going on?
All right, awesome. Over on production, we've got Xander.
Hey, how's it going?
What's shaking?
This thing's about ready to blow up, I think.
Really?
Cooking pretty good.
What do you mean?
About time.
Looks good. Ready to go.
Okay, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic. Anyways, also joining us, we've got our principal consulting producer, Josh, is with us here on co-production.
What a hunk!
Hello. How are you?
And there you go. Okay, and
I've gotten to know the chat room already, so.
Very good. Last but not least, joining us remotely via Skype, we've got Tom. How is you want that pronounced?
Saving the best for last as usual, huh?
Yeah.
Saving the last for last.
Big shout out to Sergeant Ski in the forum. Good to see you, buddy.
Nice. How do you want that pronounced? It's Tom with a B, but how do you want us to say that?
Tomb. Because I'm trying not to leave my room as much as possible.
So it is Tomb.
Yeah, what did you think it said? Tom?
Yeah.
Tom.
Because that is your name.
Tom B. Tom B. Yeah, it's Tom B. from California, guys.
Oh, jeez. All right. Let's get right into it. First thing, news of the week. Now, we're a little bit late on this, but the thing that's been dominating the news starting last week and most of this week, obviously the big Microsoft One announcement. Microsoft announced a new console. Back in February, Sony announced the PlayStation 4, got the hype train rolling for that, and then last Tuesday, was Microsoft's chance to fire back and announce the Xbox One. So, all right, first impressions, what do we think about what we saw last week, Microsoft's announcement?
Not too into it.
It's I want to see games first. You can throw all the hardware specs you want at me for a console, but I mean, all the games are going to run at. What can I run on? That's what I want to see, and I don't care about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, they're okay, but it doesn't get me excited.
It's too early to tell. The PS4 it showed all the games and things like that, but I'm willing to wait until E3 to see what really happens.
Yeah, I mean, even in terms of not even with games, but just the console itself, it's just kind of a letdown, I think. Just, the size of it, the power brick's back, so it's even bigger than what it's advertised as.
Sure.
It's just, I don't know. I mean, even before the games, it's the system itself is just not very appealing to me so far.
Yeah, but you can use Skype in full 1080 now.
That's true.
Whatever.
This is stuff
I
I don't
think of
care
that.
about.
Don't you want that? That's what you need. And new Madden.
You'd probably look,
New Madden.
Tom, you'd probably look so good in 1080.
Yeah, so let's talk about what they did show. They showed the
Tom in 3.
They showed the hardware. They showed all these TV integration features, the NFL integration, all this stuff. That is the running theme though. It comes down to we want to see the games. We don't care about this other stuff. I mean, personally, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I don't know who they're going at. They're definitely not going after the core gamer with this new Xbox. Is what I took away from it. So I don't know where they're trying to go with this thing.
I think, like I said last week, I went to the Xbox One launch website or where it was. First bullet point they had listed. NFL integration, really.
Yeah, seriously, who cares?
It's the new Madden box.
It's people that don't play
That's what you
games
need.
all the time. They watch football, and they want to be able to have
It's an entertainment console.
But I
It's
mean,
no longer a video game console.
obviously must be a
it's not
core
a
part of
video
the
game
market
system
for them
anymore.
to
It's
do
a
that,
totally integrated thing in your living room that is always connected to Kinect and monitoring everything about you and submitting that to government agencies.
Yeah, I've heard that
basically.
they actually are into counting the people in the room while watching a movie. They can do that. They can.
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah,
they're definitely going to sell that
camera's
information
so
at some point.
sophisticated now.
Yeah. So if you like being off the grid, Xbox One is not for you.
Yeah.
Stay off of it, Tony.
That's good though. So we did see the hardware. We saw the new controller. The new redesigned controller actually does look pretty cool. I heard they have there's rumble actually inside the triggers now.
Yeah.
That does
That's
seem pretty
actually
cool.
Yeah. The controller also is
Back
supposed to like last like 10 years. It's supposed to be like
really?
super durable.
Dude, Rumble.
Yeah.
I think I got
That's
excited
cool.
about Rumble controllers the last time was in like when did Star Fox 64 came out? That's when I got excited about Rumble controllers. Now,
You gould bring back
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be
Yeah, force
sticks,
feedback.
Yeah.
Microsoft did that on the flight stick, and I thought that was awesome.
it's cool,
Yeah.
but it's like
I never played it,
yeah.
but I loved the idea that it would just move all by itself. This is gonna be so real.
Okay, yeah, very good. Let's get into some of the stuff that came out afterwards, though, that's really got people in an uproar, the stuff that's been making headlines. So we've got, this stuff surrounding no used games, mandatory hard disk install. So when you get a game, it's going to install to your hard drive, and then the game is tied to your gamer tag. So if you've got someone else that wants to play it, they got to pay a fee to unlock and get a license. It's always online, and there's no backwards compatibility. So that's what's been, that's what most people have been talking about. So what are our thoughts on
Always
that?
online, whatever. It's kind. I think it's still kind of dumb because if there is a server crash, you can't play single player games. But I mean, my PlayStation
It's every 24 hours it has to check in, basically.
It has
Right,
to log
yeah.
in, so it's
I
not
think that's
always
gonna
online.
change.
Okay.
Right. They can't.
The no used game thing is awful, and the whole thing, like, if you want to borrow somebody's game, it's like, yeah, you can borrow this new copy of whatever game. You're just gonna pay. What is it? There's going to be a fee now. I don't know if it's the full price. It might be around like $10, but still playing.
I thought it was going to be manufacturer's suggested retail value.
I heard
for
that.
Yeah, I heard
even,
that.
even just
What is
borrowing
it?
the
I
game.
feel
like
like,
that.
why wouldn't you just buy the game anyways? If you're
Exactly, it
gonna
doesn't
do
make
that?
any sense.
I mean, in terms of backwards compatibility, I think that's more of a luxury. Like it's a bummer that it doesn't have it, but I mean, like Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, like none of that was backwards compatible. So I mean, that's not a huge issue.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it is a bummer.
I see what you're saying with that, but I feel like since consoles have made the jump to like
Oh, yeah.
disc-based systems, I feel like it's more of a necessity. I can understand, I guess, why, because like the hardware is different and it's extra hardware to emulate the old system. But it still like stinks. You have all this collection of games and you can't use them. They're gonna put all the old games on like a digital store anyways. So
I mean, that didn't
yeah,
last
you-
too
you
long
would hope so
for
eventually.
Xbox 360.
yeah.
I think the backwards compatibility thing is more of a big deal, like towards the beginning of the console cycle, because you've got all your 360 games that you might want to play, or other stuff you're just getting caught up on. But as it goes, it's less of a priority because you're not going to be playing your 360 games later on. You're going to be playing the new stuff.
Yeah,
but
true.
it is.
Yeah,
it
but I
is
mean,
it is
they still have a huge
disappointing.
library of games to work through as well.
Yeah. So I guess the takeaway from it though is that they said later they did some backpedaling after this, because they've been catching a lot of heat for this, and this has opened up. Now Sony can go and say, oh, okay, this is bad. Let's not do that. But I think the takeaway from this, like I said, they're doing some backpedaling. The takeaway is nothing is finalized. So in 2 weeks when we go to E3, we could see they totally change their stance, or they say, yeah, it's not as bad as you thought. So I don't know. I guess it's still open at this point. It's not definitely you're going to have to pay the $50 or $60 to unlock the game for a second copy if you're trying to use a used game or whatever, because effectively that would destroy GameStop's entire business, I think. Right.
I think, what was that?
Yeah, but I mean that's not like that would be less of a primary concern for me. Like I could care less whether or not GameStop goes under.
Oh yeah, same
I mean,
here.
my main concern is just like, I mean, like you take away all of that sharing amongst friends, it's like you're really discouraging the entire video game community as a whole.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
Yeah.
What was that like quote from some GameStop CEO or something? It was the first time we heard about this used game thing was at the Microsoft press conference.
Yeah, they didn't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I find that pretty hard to believe. I mean, that stuff's been in the pipeline forever. Like I've been hearing rumors about no backwards compatibility and like you can't play used games. Like that's been around for at least months. I've been hearing those rumors.
Right. Yeah,
Oh.
it'll definitely be interesting to see how that plays out, though, because, like I said, everybody's upset about it. No one wants to see that happen, but we'll see what they wind up doing, because they gotta, they want a chunk of that used game sales, and they gotta do, they need to prevent piracy and that whole thing. But that's a whole separate discussion. So, and anything else on the 360 stuff? I mean, the Kinect is going to be plugged in all the time, and that's totally different. So it's not like, you have to have the Kinect. You can't unplug it. It's always going to be there.
What I don't understand is what, with that login thing, but I haven't really been clear on it. So it has to log in, it has to have the Kinect on, it has to see you. So if I don't feel like playing a game for a week, what does that mean? Like, you can't play games now? Or how does that work exactly? Like the thing just has to log in and connect to the service, whether I'm playing something or not, or you have to actually...
I think possibly it's different for single player games.
Go to the chat room. What do you say?
Yeah, chat.
What do you guys think?
What does the chat have to say about? I thought from what I understand, I thought it was if you're playing a single player game, that's not a huge deal, but online games especially, you're going to have to be logged in. I don't know. You are right. I did hear it's like once every 24 hours it's got to sync up. So I don't know. It seems. What if you don't have internet? If you don't have internet at all, what are you supposed to do? You just don't buy the thing?
I mean, like I've definitely heard that concern about people with like living in an area of the country that have terrible internet service. That it's just gonna freeze and just like lock them out, and like I mean it's gonna drop their games and stuff all the time. Like what about those people? You know what I mean? Or people living on like a military base or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. That totally bogus.
That colleges that block a lot of the ports and stuff. They don't have them open.
Oh yeah, they're getting more and more restrictive too. And they don't want to get hit with lawsuits.
That's a huge fan base there too. You're gonna get like all like the frat guys playing COD and stuff. And no, not today.
Plus, they're not gonna be able to fit that thing in the dorm room. It's huge.
Vinny to the K.
Brick.
Vinny to the K says it checks the servers and validates whether or not you are allowed to be playing the game.
Oh, awesome!
There's going to be a lot of people with bricked games or whatever, like bricked Xbox Live accounts or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, well, maybe.
Let's take Big Brother out of video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, like Sony's making a lot of promises to kind of like keep that core fan base. Like I'm really hoping that they're able to deliver, and they're kind of not just going with all this anti-Microsoft like hype, you know. Like I mean, Sony's making a lot of bold claims for like a gamers system.
There you go. Yeah. So
Yeah, it should be.
well, so we'll definitely be keeping our eye on that. It's going to be super interesting to see how that pans out because it's going to depend on for now. It sounds like Microsoft is taking the lead on that, and maybe Sony had some plans in the pipeline, and they may or may not actually do that now, depending on everybody's feedback. But like I said, we'll definitely be paying attention to that and see how that goes. So I think we've more or less beaten that to death, and that's been the big thing this week, though. I mean, people,
hey, wait, I think Chris, before we move forward, I just wanted to address one more rumor that actually did come up the other day that I read, and I wanted to get the feedback of the forum as well. How does everybody feel about the news of a possible new Sega system being debuted at E3 called the Sega Spectrum?
Is that now? I just saw people chatting about that, and it was just a lot, the same kind of Sega hopefulness, I guess. And they were saying, yeah, that'd be cool, but I didn't see any kind of like official rumor saying that was like a possibility for sure. Is this? I mean, I'm
hearing a lot of people talking about it. So
really,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like YouTube people, like I know that like Gamester81 and a few other like pretty popular YouTube video game guys, as well as a lot of articles calling it the Sega Spectrum, and that there's a possibility it'll show itself at E3.
Is that even financially feasible for Sega at this point?
I mean, they're a major software developer still. I mean, they might have I'm assuming they still have the money.
They've been putting out a lot of Sonic games.
Yeah, I mean, they put out 50 Sonic games a year. They got all that Sonic cash, golden rings.
I mean, there's money somewhere,
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about another console being thrown into the mix at this point. I mean, you got your more casual game system in the Wii U, and then you got your Xbox, your PS3, like either one or the other. I mean,
I think people are going to buy a Sega because it's a Sega, and everyone's going to be like, this is cool, and then all of a sudden...
It's going to be nostalgic value. It's going to be like, oh, Sega's back. They're going to get it, and they're going to be like, I don't want to play Sonic in the black and white.
But I mean, honestly, like Sega could release the biggest turd of a video game system ever, and just on like, wow, Sega's making a new system, they would still sell, they would move tons of units before all that criticism is able to catch up with them. It'd be right now would be a great time for them to drop a system.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I honestly do not see that happening. The competition, I mean, Microsoft and Sony have been going at it tooth and nail, and at this point, for the core gamer at least, Nintendo is a bit of an afterthought. So I don't know about that. It'd be cool. I'd be really surprised at that, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, well,
That's
we'll,
all
we'll
for
see.
you, Tom.
We'll see. We'll see. I guess we can hold out hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be paying attention to that and see what comes of that, and we'll be watching Microsoft and Sony to see what they do next week. E3 is going to be huge. It's going to be
Neo Geo 2.
Neo Geo.
Yeah, we got a Neo Geo 2 is coming out soon.
Yeah.
So
They just released Neo Geo X Gold or whatever that thing was. and
Nathan
it's
has that, doesn't he?
handheld emulator. That was it.
Nate, I think Nathan's getting one or whatever. So
You haven't
I
seen
mean,
it
we'll
yet.
probably see some footage of that in the near future on
Excellent.
on like a Beat Tom or something. We'll probably end up playing that thing.
It's a handheld though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just all the Neo Geo games on a handheld.
Built in, like on a.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So let's move on. That's the Microsoft is I don't know. Let's just say they've got a lot of people's attention at this point, and a lot of people are on the fence. So they're gonna have to like we said before though, it's gonna come down to the games for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Microsoft has Halo. The Halo boys are gonna buy it, but aside from
They
that,
got the whole Halo TV series now. That's looking pretty good.
if they,
Yeah,
if they
great.
make any
Thanks,
serious
thanks,
mistakes-
Microsoft.
If they make any serious mistakes with their handling of used games, etc., and this other stuff we've been hearing about, it could be bad news for them. But we'll see. So let's move on. Now, as I said before, we don't have a review scheduled for this week. Our normal review schedule will start next week. So instead of a review this week, each of us here, we've prepared a list of our top 5 favorite games in the last 5 years. So these aren't necessarily games that came out in the last 5 years. They're games that we, personally played in the last 5 years. We were getting around to playing some stuff that came out before. But anyways, I'll go first with my list. Mine aren't in any particular order. So the first one I've got here, one of my favorites is a game called Resonance of Fate, PlayStation 3 and 360. Japanese RPG. That Resonance of Fate was awesome. It came out around the same time as Final Fantasy 13. So I think everybody was busy playing that. And
Everybody.
Speaking of
Everybody
Sega,
except Xander.
Speaking of Sega, it was published by Sega. It was really awesome. The characters are great.
Sega.
Great music, great everything. If you like
They're making a
if you like JRPGs, definitely check it out. The next one I got here, Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 was awesome. I liked the characters. The story was it. Mass Effect 2 did a really good job telling its story, and I think the first one laid the groundwork and got everybody excited. And then they just carried that over into the second game. Some people
Hey,
said,
Chris,
Yeah.
remember when you called Mass Effect Elevator Effect and you hated it?
Yeah, because
Oh,
that
gosh.
was before I played it, and the first game was Elevator Effect on the
It's a
360.
funny story. I played that on PC, and it was the first game I really played with my new SSD. And
Yeah, here we go.
I didn't really notice any of that, like elevators that go up, down, whatever. I'm
Yeah,
already
great
there.
elevator effect.
Yeah,
I
well,
was like, what are they talking
Well,
about? I don't know.
play the first one on 360 and take the elevator down the cargo bay and just watch it sit there.
It's not that bad. It's not that
not
bad.
that
It's
bad,
really
but
not that
Between
bad.
that one and the main elevator at the Citadel in that game, you're sitting
you
there
know,
watching load screens.
It really did not bother me. Like, I always heard this,
It's noticeable.
It's not a game breaker.
but
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I love the game
too
so
long
much
ago.
it didn't bother me at all.
But I mean, we all know it's not a game breaker. It got great reviews.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't kill the game, but it's definitely annoying after especially if you like to talk to everybody after every mission. You got to go down there and it gets old. I mean,
I
it's not.
remember watching Chris play. Like, I gotta go to CSEC headquarters. Like, oh man, it's time for snacks. Get a break. Go to the bathroom. Yell at me for a while, and okay, it's still loading. Go back. Whatever.
It wasn't that bad. We're good.
All right, so Chris Flippy, from critic to champion of
But anyways,
Elevator Effect 2.
the second one, a lot of people complained that it was a little bit too streamlined, but that didn't bother me. Mass Effect 2, I mean, have you ever heard of Mass Effect by now, you've probably been living under a rock and you're probably not a real gamer. So Mass Effect 2 is the next one on my list. The next one I had was Uncharted 2. The year that game came out was probably my game of the year. The same kind of concept as Mass Effect. They laid the foundation with the first one, and then they just carried everything that was good and improved it in the second one. Uncharted 2 was awesome. Okay, the next one on my list is a game called Nier for PlayStation 3 and 360. Again, it was sort of the same as Resonance of Fate. It was a Japanese RPG, but it was released around at a time where there were a lot of other high-profile titles coming out, so people were busy with other stuff, so a lot of people didn't quite catch it. But Nier is awesome. It's got great music. The characters are super likable. The story was awesome. The story is actually probably the best part about it. It's a complete mind bender. It's got New Game Plus, It's got multiple endings, so you finish the game once and then you go through a couple more times. The cutscenes all change when you're playing New Game Plus, so you see things from a different perspective, and then you realize by the time you're done with the whole thing that what you did at first really isn't how things went down. It's just crazy. If you see it, definitely check it out. Nier is definitely awesome. And then the last one here on my list, I'm probably going to catch some heat for this one, but the last one I had Final Fantasy 13. So I was one of the people that followed the game up from announcement to release, and it came out. I played it. I thought it was awesome. At this point, all the complaints about the game have been made. It's too linear. There's no towns. Whatever. That didn't bother me. So if you were one of the people that didn't like it, maybe they'll do better with the next one. So there's my 5. Let's go, Steve.
All right.
What do you
All right.
got?
Yeah, so for my top 5, they're in no particular order. They're mostly PS1 titles. The first one I have on my list is Thrasher Skate and Destroy. I felt like this was like the best skateboarding game ever. I mean, Skate was awesome, but I feel like this was the first skateboarding game to have like realistic physics, or as close to realistic while still having fun. Compared to Tony Hawk, it really was the underdog. The music in the game was awesome. It was like an old like hip hop soundtrack. And it was just cool. Like, every time you beat a level, you have to like run from the cops or from somebody trying to mug you, or it was just a cool game. The second on the list is Final Fantasy VII. It's just a classic game to me.
Nice.
I got this game for Christmas when I got my PS1, and I brought it to my grandma's house. Didn't speak a word to my family. Just sat there and played it.
The way it should be.
It's a great game. The characters are memorable. The soundtrack's good. I shed tears of joy after beating the game. It was the only game that ever made me cry. Metal Gear Solid 1, I got that with Final Fantasy VII. Instant classic, in my opinion. It blew my mind when it first came out. The stealthy combat, the bosses, the characters, just the whole sci-fi, storyline. It's brilliant.
I was just psyched to be able to snap people's necks when I was in
I remember reading about that.
came out. I was like,
Being
oh,
like,
I used to
man.
play the demo all the time.
Yeah.
Like that disc. Like I had so many different versions of that demo.
just that loading dock area.
Yeah.
That was it, right? The loading dock, you could like kill like 3 guards, get in the elevator, and
Yeah.
that was it
That
right
was it.
there. But it was awesome. I was pumped
It was
for
sweet. And it was just great. I remember seeing the commercials for that game and just being like, "What? I need to get that." And my parents or Santa was really good to me that year. Mega Man Legends for PS1. The first one, they're both really good in my opinion. The first one, I bought that off a friend of mine in 7th grade in science class for like $5, and it seriously was one of the best games I ever bought. It's like playing a cartoon show. It's like the gameplay and the cutscenes are really seamless. It's very tongue in cheek. It's just really fun. There's lots of stuff to do after you beat the game, and there's lots of customization. It's just a really cool game. The other game I have is Puzzle Fighter, only because I'm really good at it.
Good game. Good game.
I just picked that game up one day and started playing it, and I just I had a good winning streak, and it was just it's just a really fun game, and those are my games.
Nice.
Good list.
Yeah, good list.
Excellent list, Steve. Mostly PlayStation 1 titles, but
As it should be. As it should be.
old school.
yeah, but I
No one-
think
no one's
PlayStation
gonna-
1
like,
is
if
probably
someone's
my
gonna
favorite
try and
console of
argue
all
that
time.
Metal Gear Solid or Final Fantasy VII, then I don't know what to say to these people. Seriously,
It's
What?
overrated.
It's overrated for a
One guy in the
reason.
Chat room saying that Final Fantasy VII wasn't that great.
For the record, Final
yeah.
Fantasy
Say
VII
it was
is
bad,
not
but
I
overrated.
put well,
As a
to
matter of fact,
whoever
it is
that
the
is in
best
the
game
chat
in the
room.
series. I'm going to put it out there right now.
Wait, what did Tom put out?
What'd you
Other
put out,
than
Tom?
something.
7 is the best Final Fantasy.
I'll actually argue that and say 6.
I can't agree with you
6.
there, but no one's gonna argue
Yeah.
that Final Fantasy VII was hot stuff. I mean, I don't know how you could think otherwise. honestly.
7's awesome.
My personal
6.
favorite is not 7, but
6 is
Yeah.
better. I mean,
mine
that's
I mean,
my
I
opinion.
I
7's
honestly-
awesome, 6
I
is better.
disagree.
Eight hit me just as hard as 7, but 7 was the first Final Fantasy game I played on PS1, and that's the game that blew me away. I mean, 7 is the reason why I played 8. And
Oh yeah, I will say I did not like 8 at all. I will say that 7 and 9 are probably the best in the series.
8 is
I
great.
agree.
8 is a great game.
Tarsos
Yeah,
likes you.
I don't know. I
Tom.
couldn't get into it. I mean, Craig was really into that game, but he was on steroids at the time too. So
Oh,
Well done.
Lovely.
Well,
Anyways,
So
moving
on
on.
to the next guest.
All right, so 5 games here. First one, I'm gonna throw out the Walking Dead game by Telltale. I really like the old school adventure games, so I like that Telltale's kind of bringing them back with like a new generation twist. I thought this was great episode of gaming.
All of you guys have been raving about
dude,
that. And I
it's-
haven't tried it yet.
If you like point and click games, I mean, it's great, and it's not like
Sierra.
yeah, it's not like Sierra where you're like you're playing King's Quest for 3 hours, and then you're like, oh, because I didn't grab that piece of cheese at the beginning of the level. Like I'm screwed now and I can't beat it.
That's it.
Or-
Just like-
no, I
just like
played-
real
they,
life.
they had Space Quest, and I was playing through the second one, and like 2 hours before the end, like an alien came out that looked like a xenomorph. It kissed me, and I was like, "What? Okay, that's random." But you continue on. You get like right before the last area, and your chest explodes. You can't get by it. You have to avoid that alien, or it screws up your end game. So I had to restart the whole game. Actually, no, I lie. I quit and I
just mean.
YouTubed the ending.
There you go.
Oh, hey.
That's the
But
best.
but
Guys,
gotta do what you gotta
Telltale,
do.
but Telltale's Walking Dead, excellent. Great story, great characters. Gameplay's fun. Puzzles are just the right difficulty, and it's just if you like the comic book, it's just like that. So it's awesome. Next game on my list, I'm gonna go with a PlayStation 2 game called Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. I've been playing this a lot recently. They just released it on the PlayStation Network. If you like wrestling, it's awesome. If you like Japanese wrestling, it's awesome. It's a very technical game. It has like 100 wrestlers in it, all real, just renamed due to likeness rights. Can't say much more about it. It's hard, but once you get into it, you get good at it. It's just a real satisfying wrestling game. I like WWE games, but this is like the wrestling sim for like that wrestling fan who's not into the flash of like John Cena and The Rock. Let's see here. Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii. Chris, you mentioned Final Fantasy 13. I didn't hate it, but I just couldn't get into it. For me, this is the game that if you weren't into Final Fantasy 13 and you had a Wii, you should be playing Xenoblade Chronicles. Huge open world, multiple characters, different towns, tons of side quests. Obviously, not on par in the graphics department. Obviously, going off of Wii hardware, but I thought it was a solid story, solid like 60-hour playthrough. And even though the graphics weren't up to par, because again, on the Wii, the art design was good. So you had a chance to play through it.
Did you play Last Story, Jeff?
I
at
did
all?
play Last Story. I didn't like it as much. It was good, but I played it right after I played Xenoblade, and I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. But it was just like I was still like had my like breath taken away from Xenoblade Chronicles. So
Yeah, I really like Last Story.
It
I,
is good.
I like
It is
I like
good.
everything that like Mistwalker and like those guys have done.
yeah,
So
well, I've liked everything Mistwalker put out. I even like Blue Dragon. I thought that was an awesome game, a throwback like to the old SNES games, and I like
Yeah, it
the
was
Akira
pretty good.
Toriyama artwork. So
Do you think that if you've got strong music, strong art direction, strong plot, the graphics become less important?
yes.
Yeah, I feel like that
Yeah,
can really
yeah.
carry a game.
Yeah.
To me,
well-
story is everything.
story's
Yeah.
important. I mean, I'll play old text adventures. I'll play Zork, and like that's text, but it's enjoyable because it has good writing in it. In my opinion, it's a fun adventure. But like I said, this game not the best graphics, but if the graphics aren't good, but the art designs there, which are different,
Sure.
it still holds up to me. Other than that, I mentioned I like the point and click games. This other company called Wadjet Eye Games. They put out this indie game called Gemini Rue. Looks like an old school 90s point and click game set in like a noir cyberpunk type setting. Very cool. You go between dual characters. Really interesting story. Has a cool reveal at the end. If you like 90s point and click adventures, play it. Final pick. Played it for the PC. Did get ported to Xbox 360. In my opinion, not even one of my favorite games in the last 5 years, but one of my favorite games, period, is The Witcher 2 by CD Projekt Red. Witcher 1 was awesome.
Which I still need to play.
I tell this kid about it all the time.
I'll get to it. I mean, I'd rather have too many games to play than
Yeah.
not enough.
It's good. And know what the thing is, you could spend like a ton of time on it, but you could probably get, if you wanted to pick up the pace a little, you could probably get through the game in like 20 hours. It's solid story, a lot of cool choice and consequence, which I like in my Western style RPGs. Combat's fun, graphics look great, and again, like I said, graphics are good and the art direction's good. If you like Game of Thrones, the art style, the way it looks kind of looks like that, like just, that medieval style that It's almost kind of real. You're fighting monsters, but it has that kind of realistic style, like dark fantasy. It's if you're into that stuff, play it. It's awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Nick,
You
what do you
guys,
got?
all right. So you guys mentioned the first 2 games. Mass Effect, one of my favorite games, especially the first one. I love all the interactions between the characters. It's
Great, another Mass Effect.
Hey, come on. All right, what's wrong with Mass
Let's say
Effect?
they didn't. I wanted to mention too. They didn't carry. It was a shame they didn't carry the same thing over into the third game. The third game, I have serious problems with the third game, but the first 2, awesome.
The third,
Awesome.
after going back, I played through the third game, and like after reviewing, hearing people's comments on it, I really, don't mind it at all. I actually really enjoyed how everything turned out.
The ending.
The ending, I really didn't mind that much. Was it real? Was it?
I didn't hate it, but I felt like the build up to all your choices mattering at the end, and I was
Yeah,
like, did they
okay.
really,
Especially with the things with the Rachni and things like that. So there's things like that.
Let me bring that up too. And I don't want to drag this out, but the whole Rachni thing. No, that was a big deal in the first game. It's like, you kill the Rachni, you save them.
This bothers
I
me.
saved them in my playthrough, and they were there, and I was like, okay, but it was very minor, and I was like, I thought there'd be a bigger consequence to that, but I didn't want to play through it again, but I looked it up. If you kill the Rachni, they still come back, but they're clones.
Yeah,
Spoilers,
like,
Jeff, come on.
Like,
Yeah, I would agree with you there. That wasn't handled really well. Some of the stuff, and it wasn't only that. I mean, we could go off on this for probably at least.
yeah,
Yeah.
moving
But yeah, that's.
Steve mentioned earlier Metal Gear Solid. I really liked, the series as a whole. I really enjoyed it. I spent the whole entire summer playing through all of those, and Snake is such a great character. I just, you can't ask for a better.
awesome.
Yeah, he's
Do you
great.
like?
There's not much to say about
He's awesome.
Metal Gear.
Snake-
If you
I
say you
mean,
like it, then everybody understands.
Metal
why.
Gear,
Yeah.
Metal Gear 2: Snake's Revenge is the best in the series over NES.
Yeah, there's nothing to say. People know.
Yeah.
Jeff, Adult Brian says here,
Yeah.
Jeff's a game snob.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
I agree.
Wait, what?
Adult Brian feels that you are a game snob, Jeff.
Oh, jeez.
That's bad. You should wait until you hear my list.
Yeah, I know. Wait till Xander comes up. You won't know what the heck's going on.
He's a gamer with class and taste.
I got taste.
He's
No, it's not.
sophisticated.
Jeff, your list is so boring, it's putting me to sleep.
How am I a game snob? I like all these games. I just, I'm picking up some lesser known titles.
I
You get the
don't
word
know.
out
I don't know
there.
about that.
All right.
else?
I
So
actually
Jeff
just
finished
played
up?
through this. It's Ico. I know I'm kind of late on it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah, I
you
just
were
played
like
that
four
fantastic.
when it
Yeah.
came out, probably.
It's fantastic. I enjoyed it much more than Shadow of the Colossus, which I'm sure
Really?
surprises a lot of people. Yeah,
I like the second one better.
yeah. I don't know. There's something very simple about that game that I loved, and I don't know. It's just fantastic.
It is very good. I think the thing is, if you haven't played it, you won't really understand.
No, exactly. I just played through this one, Ni no Kuni. It's
Someone was talking about that in the chat.
yeah. If you have a
Fantastic.
PS3,
I
it's
saw,
probably
I saw that
it's
they
one
had a
of the best
really impressive
JRPGs that
display at
you.
E3 last year. I
you
haven't
probably
played it
get.
yet, but I really
is
do
there
want to
a
play that
really
game.
good JRPG
I-
for the PS3? That's
Again,
I
it's,
just beat it last week, actually.
yeah,
Xander's
it's
played it.
fantastic.
it's good. I think it's up there. Like I said, I put Xenoblade Saga as like,
Oh, it's like Pokemon.
one of the best.
they say.
Yeah, you collect
don't care for
familiars,
that at
but
all.
yeah, it's
it's
awesome.
great.
Anybody who's over 32, I think, does not care about Pokemon. Like that's my opinion. I'm probably wrong, but I just never.
Nah,
did
you're
that.
definitely
Like,
wrong.
well,
Come on.
it's kind of like in that game, you can if you want to, but like I just played through the whole game with like you meet a new character or you meet a new main character. They bring like their own familiars. They already have like 3 of them, so you can capture more if you want to. But like I didn't even need to. Just use those. And again, they like start off with those anyway. They're already leveled. They have some items and stuff. So like I didn't even bother. So you can play it that way if you want to, which was
All right.
cool.
And then my last game, definitely not last, probably my favorite out of these is Knights of the Old Republic from BioWare. It's the first BioWare game I ever played. I played this, at least three times during one summer.
Yeah, that's all you talked about a couple years ago.
Oh, I know it's that
It's
great.
like, oh, dude, KOTOR, dude.
Dude, Coach, it's excellent. Actually, I think today is actually the 10-year anniversary for that. So You gotta put that on there.
Yeah, why don't you start playing Old Republic next? It's
Yeah.
like this spiritual successor. That was fun for 100 hours, and
Was
there's
the
nothing
Star
left to do.
Star Wars. That's the
Yeah.
The Old
Star
I
Republic
actually have that
MMO.
on Steam, and I started it, and I'm like trying to get myself to stay. Concentrate
What
on
the
it.
original? The original. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a little slow, but I don't have a lot of time. To
It
play.
picks
Wasn't
up-
a big fan of 2, I think, because it was made by a different developer, but 1 was
See,
fantastic.
Obsidian makes awesome RPGs, but they got rushed in that game.
Yeah.
I haven't played it myself, but I guess there's a mod for it for the PC version that they really correct a lot of the mistakes they made, and it's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of people
played.
say
I
it's
mean, I
better.
played it for the original Xbox. I haven't played it on the PC, so yeah, that's it.
All right.
Who's next?
Cool.
All right, much controversy for Nick.
Yes.
All right, Xander.
Yep.
What do you got?
I'm up next. You might
Oh no, here it comes.
you might notice it, notice it running.
Well, should we tell everyone about last week?
No, just
Okay.
let him go.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you might notice a running theme with the games on my list. They were either PC primary platform or started out PC only. That's not a coincidence. So first game I have Shattered Horizon. How many of you guys have played that? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Developed by Futuremark Game Studio. I think it was the first game they did, that's a benchmarking company. So it's kind of interesting to see them take like some of their benchmark artwork and stuff that usually they just throw away and make a game into it. So it's set in outer space, like zero gravity, 3D. You can move anywhere, do anything. You can land on stuff. It was a ton of fun. It was only like $5. I paid $5 for it on sale, like pretty soon after it came out, and I played it for over 100 hours. It's like I don't know where else you could get that kind of value. It was really awesome. Like I keep saying, normal first-person shooter games, like some idiot dude might be camping a hallway the entire round, like just killing everybody. You can't get past him. Shattered Horizon, like just go around him. You can't look above him, below him, side to side, behind him all the time. Just go around him, shoot him every time. It was really something unique, and I guess apparently now all the servers are down. Like the last DLC they made had bot support, so that was
Do not try and play this game.
final coffee. I guess,
Don't even try it.
I guess not enough people played it, and so thanks.
That-
Once
Sorry, that is a shame. It did look like a really cool game.
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I've really seen anything like it before, and it looks like it's gonna be a while until we see something like that again. So thanks once again to jerks that didn't play it. Next game on my list might be kind of a surprise because I usually don't like sort of casual games, I guess, but it's a game called Shrine. I guess a bunch of you guys have probably played it, but normally I don't prefer short games, but sometimes I don't have that much time. Shrine takes like 8 hours, under 8 hours to beat, for me at least. So you pick it up, that's like, one sitting, maybe 2 days over the weekend. Pick it up cheap for like $5 or whatever, sit down, run through it. There's three cool characters, cool setting, cool music, cool levels, and that's about it. It's pretty good. Can't really go wrong with that one. Then, next game on my list, Half-Life 1. Can't really say much about this that hasn't already been said, I guess. First FPS I really got into, I think. And classic story, lots of cool stuff there. And then next game, System Shock 2. Some of these guys.
Server crash too.
some of these guys may have played it.
At least when we play it, when we attempted it, yeah.
Start the game for 5 minutes. It's like, all right, guys, we're in the game. System crashes.
Yeah, the
The whole
co-op
thing.
was buggy though.
Nah.
It was meant for single player though. The game's awesome by itself. It's scary.
I think co-op with buggy is an understatement at this
Yeah.
point. I played co-op my first time, so I only played with one other person. I imagine 4 people co-op would be Crash City. But I only played with one other person, so it only crashed like 5,000 times. Playing co-op first time, we might have missed out on some of the horror elements in that game, but I can definitely see how you're playing by yourself alone in a room might get pretty scary. But it's a cool story, some awesome RPG elements. I really like the inventory and the level up system, collecting all the cybernetic modules and all that stuff. It was really cool, and also recently it's been re-released, so you can pick it up now. Apparently, co-op is still Crash City, but I think apparently most of the
You think they would
What a,
fix
what,
that?
yeah, what a
What's the
surprise.
excuse?
I don't know how they could really patch that at this point, but the re-release is pretty good. Pick it up for like $10, I think. Play through it again. Hopefully get some new users to see what like a real PC FPS RPG should be. And that was one of the first ones ever made. Then last game, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, which was the first one. Sort of Russian developed RPG, I guess. It is first person shooter, as usual. It was very immersive. I think the first game had no quick travel, so I have many fond memories of like carrying an entire inventory full of assault rifles back to the starting zone to sell for more rubles so I could buy vodka and radiation medicine.
So it's everything that you need
Only
right
4
there.
million rubles for that soda.
That was pretty good. And there's also some really good mods out there. They make it look like change the weather effects, update the graphics, make it look pretty amazing. So definitely check some of those out. And I think that's about it.
Awesome.
All right, PC games. That's it for
Yep.
PC games.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. PC games.
Hey, I threw The Witcher 2 out there. Come on. I played it on the PC.
Yeah,
that.
I guess
Do that.
that's true.
You can pretty
I
much
didn't play.
most
I don't
of
play
anything.
PC games, so I don't know about those.
All right, Josh.
I'm next. All right. Everyone's gonna hate my first one because I'm watching the chat room and they're like 7 and 6 and blah blah blah. And it's a Final Fantasy, and I like Final Fantasy 12, and that's all. I just
Yeah,
like it.
I guess who got that for you?
Tom Flaherty and Steve both bought me
Yeah.
a special edition, and I kept it for like 10 years, and then finally traded it in for like
You traded it in?
$3.
We got you that.
I didn't want to, but I didn't have a PlayStation 2 anymore, and I was like,
Uh-oh.
so I traded.
I didn't
it
know
in.
that.
You guys stayed up for months for that.
Yeah, whatever. I kept it for 10 years.
That's pretty good.
Anyway, or whatever, however
Well,
long.
shit, 12 is no joke. If you're,
I like
if you're gonna
that
play
game.
12, you better be ready to commit because 12 is absolutely no joke.
It's a good game. I mean, people
No,
complain.
it definitely is.
They're saying already, wow, terrible story.
Oh, come
whatever.
on.
The game was fun to play. It wasn't extremely grindy like 7 was. It was just sort of nice. I mean, Van was annoying, but
I
whatever.
don't remember grinding at 7. I just blew through that in like 2 weeks.
Well, you are a whiz. They should make a movie about you with Fred Savage. So,
California.
so anyway,
Oh.
let me just go through mine because nobody cares about what I have to say. Half-Life, all of them. Team
Nice.
Fortress 2, everything's from Steam. Team Fortress 2, which I heard has got a new mod which turns everybody into robots, which I thought was pretty cool, and I was going to try and use it, but I wasn't sure how to do it. Portal, obviously either one of them, and then Snatcher.
Yeah, now we're talking.
So Tom can tell us all the
This is where we
facts about
spent some
Snatcher.
considerable time last week talking
And
about
here's
that.
here's a here's a little known
What's he
fact.
gonna
If you
say?
watch
And they're like, nothing to say about
Yeah,
all
that
of
was-
them, and then Snatcher.
here's an inside behind the scenes scoop for you
That
right
was
here.
good.
Nathan, he has the Talking Classic series. He did a Snatcher episode. He didn't know anything about Snatcher.
Yeah.
He watched a YouTube video to just watch all the cutscenes because he didn't want to play it through. The game takes like 2 hours to beat, and he watched a YouTube video because he didn't want to
what
take
I'm
the
gonna
time to
do.
figure out how to actually play the game.
That's how he
No,
does
it
it.
takes longer than 2 hours, dude. If
I
it's,
got
if
to
it's
it-
your first time, unless you know all the stuff, because you got to go through those options and like you got to do some of them
Yeah.
multiple times to actually unlock the next thing to actually progress the game. So unless you know all those things, it's gonna take more than 2 hours, dude. That's not. I don't think, especially your first time through. There's
All right,
no way
like
you're doing that in
6 or
2
7
hours.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It probably
yeah,
took me
that's
close
fair.
to 5 to get
That's
to
a little
the
bit
end.
more fair.
But I was playing it on a PC, a PSP. On an
Yeah, I
emulator.
played mine on a PSP
And I
as
couldn't
well.
beat the last robots. It was too hard because the tiny little dumb thing.
Yeah, we were talking about before. I can't imagine having to do that part. With
It was
the
a little
thumbstick.
tough, and I just gave up. I was like, whatever.
I thought the
gets way
shooting
too
segments
fast.
really easy. I was able to blast through those. I remember Nick couldn't beat like some of the shooting sequences, and he
Yeah, you're right. I
brought
played
his
it on my
PSP to the
PSP.
practice space, and I beat it for him right away.
Well,
You got
you're
that.
another whiz who can go stay in California.
All right, I
Go
will.
win Super Mario Brothers 3.
California.
Ninja Gaiden.
Anyway, so that's
Oh.
mine. What do you have to say?
With that, it's your turn.
Tom Flaherty.
Oh, great! Here's the saving the best for last. All right.
Exactly, dude. That's how it goes.
They saved me for last.
All right. I just want to throw
We
another
just
shout
added
out
you
to
in.
Sergeant Ski for saying I'm a champion player.
Sergeant Ski loves you.
I know, this dude's awesome. Finally, a fan.
Sergeant Ski does not, however, like Jeff.
Nah, dude,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think
Who
everybody in
is
the
this
chat
guy?
can agree
I
that,
don't know who he is. He's
that
Sergeant
Jeff is
Ski.
just full of himself in this
Whatever.
episode. He really needs to
fine
tone
with
it down.
He was big in the 80s on the mountain.
All right, I want to hear Tomb's top 5
Yeah,
here.
I want to.
All right. Here's my top 5. All right, you guys ready for this or what?
Oh,
you
we're
guys
ready.
I want to hear some. I want to hear some
champing.
opinions from you guys on the couch over there about this.
Yeah.
Golden
All right,
Arm Spurt says you're champing every day.
Nice.
So
I like
champ.
that. All right, so I'm gonna say my number 5 game is Just Cause 2.
Just cause too.
What?
All right, so I mean, you play a dude named Rico.
I know
you
all
blow
about
stuff,
this.
You blow stuff up. You can attach a grappling hook to dudes and send them into outer space.
It's
And
pretty fun.
and there's a party blimp. So this game
There
has
is a
it
party
all.
blimp, and
Go
you
out
can
and
jump
play it.
off of
You're
it.
stupid if you don't go out and play this game.
It's fun.
All right.
Uh,
Okay.
All right, so Just Cause 2. All right, so I'm going to say that my number 4 game is BioShock 1. You know, up until that, I mean, I'm not crazy about the first-person shooter genre, but I mean, everything about this game, the atmosphere, level design, you know, character design, storyline, everything was, you know, perfectly placed into this game. So I'm going to say it's probably the best first-person shooter I've ever played. Better than Half-Life.
Really?
Bold.
Which one was it?
I
What did
don't
he say? I'm
know.
reading the chat room. I didn't hear what he said. What was this?
Bioshock
I'm
1.
gonna say BioShock 1 is the
Half-Life?
best first-person shooter I've ever played.
Bioshock 1 was fun.
I don't know.
But
Did you
better
guys
than
feel like
Half-Life?
Bioshock, the
No.
first one, was a little kind of clunky? It was
The
hard
fir-
to, like, I don't
Yeah,
know. I felt like the accuracy was really hard to get on
this is really a separate discussion. But Bioshock, the first Bioshock didn't really resonate with me. The second one, kind of same thing, and then Bioshock.
The second one stinks, but the first one's amazing.
Well, yeah. Well, the second one wasn't even the same guys. That was the other 2K studio. But yeah, for whatever reason, everybody, like a lot of people, really liked the first Bioshock game. But for whatever reason,
It was
just
fun to
didn't-
play
didn't
through
click
it, but
with
it
me.
Yeah, I think I was
I felt like
ranting
it
to you
was
about it. I was saying how it was just,
Yeah.
you know, it's a quality game. It was just, I felt like it was done well and the story was cool. And I just thought it was a solid FPS, you know,
Adult Brad
light
says, of
RPG
course, Jeff
elements.
disagrees.
But, you know.
Yeah.
All right,
Brian
so
doesn't like you.
moving on here before we get into any more controversy. Oh, I will say that my second favorite first-person shooter, just to throw it out there, is Shadow Warrior.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that one is.
All right.
Ooh, I want to
Shadowrun?
right? Remember Chris?
Shadowrun on
Oh, they're bringing
Super
Shadowrun
Nintendo?
back.
I know.
Didn't they already do that?
I am excited.
Yeah, we're going to forget about that.
They're bringing it back again.
Yeah, but now as a first-person shooter.
Oh,
Yeah.
we did?
All right. So okay. So moving on here.
Never mind.
I'm gonna say that my number 3 game was Metal Gear Solid 4.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think it was the best Metal Gear Solid in the Metal Gear Solid lineage, but I mean obviously it was the last one that I played. I haven't played Revengeance or anything. I don't really consider that a Metal Gear Solid game at all. I am excited about Part 5. Not so excited about David Hayter leaving the project, but
yeah.
you know,
it's bogus.
4 is just a
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no
long movie.
Yeah, but it was an awesome movie.
It was a long,
Yeah,
it was a long
I'm not-
radio show
I'm not,
because
you know,
nothing happened. They just
Disagreeing.
talked
I think I thought it was an awesome game, but I just thought it was. You're pretty much just playing like a 10-hour movie.
Yeah.
But you gotta expect that with the Metal Gear.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on now, it's all
It
cutscenes,
was-
but their quality, you know.
Yeah.
They're
I
long.
mean, that fourth one really focused on story. Big
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
a lot.
Big time.
And I
can only-
mean, I
But
thought
compared
the
to
story
the
was
others,
nice, and,
though, it
I
was
mean the action for
way-
what little there
it
was
was so
also
much
executed
longer.
really well.
Yeah.
Say it again, Tom.
Oh, I just said you know the story was great, and the action for you know what little time you actually did have large amounts of action. I thought the action was executed very well. It was really fun. So, I mean, I enjoyed that game immensely.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing that one too.
Yeah, great. I mean,
I enjoyed panning across the cutscenes as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I wait, actually, a funny story about Metal Gear Solid 4. Steve, I canceled band practice to go get the Metal Gear Solid 4 bundle, if I remember correctly.
And who has that bundle now?
I sold it to you before I moved to California.
You cheap.
But you didn't
sucker.
actually move to California at the time. So I just made off with the
yeah,
bundle.
but then you still had it. But anyway, I actually canceled we were all in a band together, you know? And I actually canceled a band practice to go and buy Metal Gear Solid 4, the bundle. So I don't regret
What came
that.
with the bundle?
Yeah, what was in the bundle? The game and what? A
It
bunch
was the
of
game and the
junk?
PlayStation. It was the
Oh,
last.
it was
Yeah, it was just the
It,
system in the game.
it was the last reverse compatible PlayStation 3 model.
It was like the
Any
last
game.
PS3 that had backwards compatibility
Yeah, and I needed it.
for the PS1.
for PS2.
For PS2.
Oh, there was. Oh, that's right. There were like what, 9 of them.
Yeah, there's like 10 million different models of the game. So, all right. So moving on, I was gonna do a more recent game, but I'm gonna do a game that it's an old game. It's probably my favorite NES game, but I play the game so frequently still that I'm gonna choose it as my number 2. It's in my number 2 slot of games that I play pretty frequently. I'm gonna say Double Dragon 2: The Revenge.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, finally, number 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah! All right, yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna say that it's it's the best Double Dragon game. It's the only Double Dragon game that I can play through, and it is also Seth and I play the game here with my roommates Seth and Nathan all the time, and they can barely make it through the first level, which for me is I don't
Those are
understand why
hard.
it's that
I don't
hard.
know. I have a trouble with those too. It's like
It's
So it's a
hard.
Barnett-
Punch,
Barnett-
they don't
not
hit
the first
anybody.
level in that game, dude.
What?
Not the first level.
I
Like
barely
Double
played.
Dragon 3, the first level is hard.
Oh, dude, I can't get out of the room in Double Dragon 3. I got kicked all over the
I
place.
played
Double
it when
Dragon
I was
2,
like
though?
9, man.
Dude, you just gotta keep doing those jumping knee strikes. You destroy
I
the
didn't like
boss.
the mechanics of it very much. It was
You got to do the flying knee attack, that
Yeah.
that super knee. You do the super knee to everybody, and you just waste them all.
Or you do like the Ryu kick, and the guys just go flying across the screen.
Oh,
I got that game
incredible.
for
And
Christmas
the
as a
music
kid.
in
It
that
was
game,
awesome.
like that is probably my favorite video game music like ever. The entire soundtrack to that game is amazing.
Double Dragon 1 and 2 had awesome themes. Like I could listen to those all the time. They get me pumped.
Even Double Dragon 3, as crappy as it is, had some good music. It's just the game itself was impossible and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
fun.
True, yeah.
I can't believe how hard that game is. Yeah, but the music was like, it was more like good Double Dragon music, so it was like an updated version. So, I could put the game on, listen to it, but I don't really want to play it.
Yeah. But anyway, Double Dragon 2, best Double Dragon. Probably my favorite NES game, but I still play it frequently enough that I'm going to throw it on my top 5 list of the last 5 years.
Nice.
All right, so number 1. This is it. This is time for my number 1. You guys can feel free to agree or disagree. I know that Nick will probably disagree with this. Jeff will definitely disagree with this, but I will say my number 1 game of the past 5 years is Shadow of the Colossus.
Before we
There's
continue,
nothing wrong with that.
Why would you say I would disagree with that?
Because the chat
I mean,
room does.
I
Well,
love Shadow
yeah,
of the
you
Colossus.
just-
I did too.
I
I
love
just
Ico.
like Ico so much more.
I thought Ico was great before it was cool. So
Oh, you did tell me to play it way back when.
snub. No, yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is awesome.
Yeah,
I would
you snub.
definitely not disagree with that.
Especially the re-release that they did recently.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could argue that it's a newer game if you want to talk about the HD re-release, which I do have. But yeah, I mean, even the PS2 still holds up. The PS2 version still holds up really well. The game is absolutely, it's a beautiful game, and it's just, I'm very excited about The Last Guardian. So, I mean, hopefully we see
Whenever that comes out.
Chris and
Whenever it comes
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
what,
here
what
we
is
go.
what is the status of that? Because I've been like,
PlayStation
What do you
4?
know, Insider Tom? You know everything apparently.
PlayStation 4.
I
it doesn't come out on
don't know
PlayStation 5.
anything
I
about
don't know.
that, but Chris and I will be at E3. That is confirmed.
Oh,
So
yeah,
GameSlean will have a presence at
We
E3.
better have
We
an
do
answer
have.
on. Yeah, that's one of the ones we'll be sure to check out. We better have an
Yeah,
answer.
and
on
we're
that,
gonna
'cause they've
and we
been-
will do our best to sneak
Chris
in
is
and
gonna
steal a
fight
copy
somebody.
of the
When
game.
did that? I'm not gonna
Find
fight
out.
somebody. It's just how can they let the guy go for so long and not show any progress?
Hey.
It's just he had the thing going. He had the thing going for the entire PS3 life
Half-Life
cycle.
3 isn't. No one's fighting about that.
Yeah, but that's because Valve is what they are, and
it's ready when it's ready.
Right.
And you know what? Last Guardian, you know that dog
This
thing's
game
gonna
could be.
die at the end. and
I'm
it's gonna be
hoping.
really
I'm hoping that
depressing.
it's done soon, but I mean, we'll see. I want the game when the game's ready, it's ready.
that's a good point. I'd been following other stuff. I totally forgot about Last Guardian.
I mean,
I
from
couldn't
what
remember
I'm
the name of
You
it.
probably put it on the back
so-
burner for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to hear anything about that anytime soon.
Right. Especially with the new system and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited about Just Cause 3, which should
There's
be
a
coming out in
third
the next
one?
couple of years.
I'm gonna play that.
All right.
That should be very
Snowstorm
very
game.
good. I'm hoping there's more party blimps in this one.
That game was so fun.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean you can sink so many hours into just
It's
tooling
such
around
a
in that
waste
game.
of time.
It's a pretty fun
unproductive
sandbox
game,
just
but
because you
it's
can
so fun.
get jets and stuff and then go skydiving off of them, connect the jets
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I feel like
Connect
people, hate
people to
the
the jets,
industry.
do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Everybody loves Grand Theft Auto, but I liked it. It's like the same sort of thing, but I liked it better. I don't know why. Just
It was just more. It was more campy, so it was just
Yeah,
more
looked-
fun.
looked
Grand Theft
cooler.
Auto, you're playing like a gangster,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
don't
not
care for
cool.
killing people. I guess you're killing people in Just Cause, but
But just
we all call it
cause
just
you're
cause.
Doing it for a just cause.
I know.
Yeah, there we go.
Just cause.
You understand why it's called that,
you're just
right?
cussing around, you know?
Just cause. Just cause.
Yeah, why are you killing all these guys? Just cause, man.
Just cause.
All right, well, there you have it. There's our top 5 from each of us. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what our gaming tastes are. So going forward, you can maybe try and gauge what to expect from each of us when we review our respective games. All right, so now, really quickly, we chewed up a whole bunch of time so far, but why don't we do some predictions really quick? So we can check back. We'll check back later on and see how we did. I'll start with one really quickly. So I'm going to say, as a prediction here, I'm thinking Nintendo is going to drop the price of the Wii U before the holiday season.
Definitely.
They're hurting right now. They got to do something. They got to get some sales moving, and I think they need a price drop ASAP to get people interested in the Wii U system because, everyone knows the core gamer ain't having it right now.
Yeah, well, if they drop it, great, because I haven't got one yet. I have played it though, and I will say,
Jeff, do you want one $200? You can have it.
How much? What is the actual price?
Oh
Get
yeah,
this thing outta
didn't
here.
they drop it today actually?
What is
or
the price?
someplace had it on sale. I totally forgot.
Skyrim.
Yeah, Tom and Nathan's house. We need to get another TV. $200.
let me talk to you later on that.
Right there, yeah.
But I played the Nintendo Land with like a couple of people, and it's a wicked casual game. And maybe because I only played it for like an hour or so. But like I thought like the Luigi's Mansion game and stuff was fun. So I mean, not a system seller, but that was fun. And they're gonna get some quality titles. Actually, going back to Xenoblade Chronicles, the Monolith stuff who made that game, they're putting another RPG that looks very similar to it coming out. So I'm gonna get it eventually.
They're working on another one.
They're gonna have some quality JRPGs coming out. So that's towards the end. I mean, not towards the end, but I think they'll start to build up a better library. Piggyback off of that though, off of your rumor about it price dropping. My prediction about Nintendo, a lot of people say they're going to go away. This is their last console because Wii U's not doing good. I honestly think
there's been some of that, yeah.
As long as there's consoles coming out, Nintendo's going to have one. They always have their weird niche, and it's going to be, they're always going against the grain. They're going to keep releasing stuff. Plus, they make a ton of money from the handheld market because their handhelds are always
it'll keep them alive.
So, yeah, not going anywhere.
I think
Sergeant
too.
Ski
They've
says
got
they
a
need
ton
Zelda.
of money in the bank at this point, so they're good. They're not going to go away anytime soon. It's just the core guys, all of us included, we've been disappointed with Nintendo's offering with the Wii U and what we've seen so far. So I don't know. I mean, I don't care either way if they turn it around or not. I'm looking forward to Bayonetta. So if that game comes out, I'll play that. But if there's nothing else after that, and I've made the joke that I'll promptly throw my Wii U into the bin if there's nothing else to play after Bayonetta comes out. So we'll have to see how that goes.
There'll be a few other Wii U's in there, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Any other predictions?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess with the Xbox One, I mean, it is really too early to tell to really have a strong opinion on it. But, I mean, PlayStation, I mean, even with my top 5, there's all PlayStation games. I mean, I've been a PlayStation gamer. I'm not a fanboy by any stretch of the means, but, but I mean, yeah, I mean, Chad Warden said it best. Everybody knows PlayStation makes the best game.
That's right.
And I mean,
Oh,
that's Chad Warden. So.
All I have to say is, don't count Microsoft out yet. I'm willing to wait till E3. I hear, like I said before, waiting all, PS4 is gonna wipe the floor, and I'm willing.
Xbox is gonna sell because just the fact they have Halo, that's a system seller. But I think this I feel like the last generation, for the most part, 360 was like the number one. I feel like it's gonna be the reverse.
PS3 just.
I get towards the end maybe, but I feel like majority of it was Xbox.
Yeah, it's the accepted fact. I mean, especially in Europe, they did way better than PS3.
Yeah, but
it's kind of accepted now that Microsoft did. I mean, because everybody was
PS3 had a
playing
rough
stuff
start,
on
too.
Xbox.
Well, I mean, all the systems did good, but at Xbox 360, they were pretty much number one most of them. I think it's going to be the reverse for this upcoming generation.
That's
I really
how
think
it's looking, at least
PS4
so
is going
far,
to be
yeah.
We'll see.
leading the pack. So, yeah, we'll see. Obviously,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
know
see.
now.
Yeah. I've got one other one real quick. If I got one other prediction here. So I'll go out and I'll say Sony's launch PlayStation 4 numbers will be higher than Microsoft's. Kind of related to what you just said.
Just from all this, I mean, just from the negative publicity alone on Microsoft, I think PlayStation I think PlayStation's going to come through strong in the beginning, but I mean, we're going to have to see.
What's been going on is going to hurt Microsoft, I think. Yeah.
I mean, again, it's going to come down to the games. I mean, we saw a little bit more with PlayStation. It seems way more gamer focused. This E3 coming up is going to be a big factor because I think we're going to actually get a taste of what the library is going to look like. Launch lineups are never like the best for whatever reason. There's usually like maybe one hit, but then the rest are very much like whatever.
Yeah.
So I know we'll have to see a C3 what the library is looking at, but just the Sony's attitude towards it, they seem more gamer focused and not all in one entertainment focused. So, I'm leaning towards the gamer side.
Yeah, that's
I'm pretty
true.
excited. I'm pretty excited about it. So I think PlayStation is going to come through strong, and unless Microsoft really addresses a lot of these issues, they are really, really going to suffer in the long term.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I had any other predictions, in terms of predictions, I don't have too much else to offer, but I am excited about the HD remasters coming out. Square has the HD remaster of Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy X coming down the pipeline this fall, and I'm really looking forward to those. Aside from that, other than the new systems coming out, there's a lot of stuff to be excited for. So I think E3 is going to be a determining factor.
All
as
these,
to
all
which
these
system takes it all.
releases coming out are awesome. Dude, Capcom's doing a bunch of them. They're doing DuckTales, the NES game.
Really?
Dude, I'm psyched for that. And they're releasing
cool.
both of the Brawler, the Dungeons and Dragons Brawler games, the arcade games, are releasing them as one pack, like on the
The
network.
two, I have those.
Dude,
Those are awesome.
they're the
They're
best.
so fun.
You level up,
They're
you
like
get spells
Streets of Rage, but better.
with
It's
RPG stats. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so much better. And if you just pump quarters in, you can level your guy.
Yeah.
Buy all kinds of items and stuff. And if you play it on MAME, you just go, boop, 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 boop. I have all the potions now.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, those are fun.
All right, well, there you have it. I think that's going to do it for us. We've gone on long enough. So check back with us next week, guys. As I said, we're going to have our first review. Next week, we're going to be talking about BioShock Infinite. Check out our website at GameSlean.tv. Follow us on Twitter at GameSlean. Like us on Facebook. Anything else?
Can't wait for The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We'll be talking about that when it comes
Gotta
out.
touch on that. Last of Us. It's going to be awesome.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for us.
Pretty good.
Keep playing, guys. We'll see you next week on GameSlean.
Later.
Later.
Yeah.
See ya.